Alright, we are live and I am missing my camera. Ah, cracky. Oh dear, this is going to be fun. I took the little USB brick because I need to. I'll explain it in a second. I just realised I've got to find one. Oh, this is going to be fun. Oh, goody, found one. Not exactly what I was hoping to use, but this will do. It will suffice for the task at hand. Okay. Gotcha. See how that goes. Alright, welcome everybody. Welcome again to another pointless video where we will just drown our sorrows and discuss days of our lives material. Let's get some gloves on. A laptop, B-Blood, Civlu, PR, Draco, Antonio. Saw some more people earlier there. Scroll back and find these. Suresh, McGrams, Bunty, yeah, Stephen W, Mr. Stamps, good day to you. Craig Jedi, Osis, Dreams, Miles, Laptop. Alright, I think hey, one knew me. Yeah. Martin, yes, no, well, it doesn't help that I don't drink anymore, so as in alcohol, so I have to endure it the hard way without the dampening effect of alcohol. Okay, alright, listen, we're going to swing straight back to that 1706 that we were working on last night. That one there doesn't. My lighting seems a little off, but we'll have to live with that. Anyway, yeah, so last night we were working on this and we still kept getting the missing drive effect, as in the flashing folder on the screen. So we know the system works, we know the rails must be okay and everything like that, except maybe there's no guarantee about the SSD rails, but the display works, the audio probably works, keyboard works, all that sort of stuff. We just have to find out why the SSD is not working, and it was mentioned by Neo and we noticed it, that there were the marks on the Berkelium chip as opposed to the Piccolo chip, because like I said, most of the time I am used to diagnosing these SSD faults around the Piccolo chip. I don't think I've really ever had one where it's been the cause of the Berkelium chip, but I'm willing to take a shot. To be fair, in this situation, worst case scenario, we can hook it up to the Lifeboat connector and extract the data. Is this the one that had the exploded cap? Yes, it is. The exploding cap with the missing material. So this has a bit of a history behind it and we don't really know what it is. Okay. It's funny when you look at the board without the microscope, you go, where is everything? Okay, alright, so we have the Berkelium over here. Now, this is going to be fun. It's not a problematic chip to reball. I mean, it's a little bit fickle. But the main problem I've got is trying to find a suitable replacement. I usually have burned through all my Berkeliums. Yeah, you see, no Berkelium. So I'm wondering if the 923 has. Okay, we do have one here. It looks like it's been reworked, so I'll find another one as well. Just can't remember if there were any other boards that also had the Berkelium on it. I suppose I can do a part search and find out. Hey Jürgen. This 239. Another one missing Berkelium. So we do have one berkelium, but I'm a little worried it's not going to be enough. Ah, damn it. Missing berkelium. You can see a trend here, can't you? And I'm fairly sure the 850 does not have that chip, which is a shame because I do actually have a reasonable number of 850s. Or maybe the 1707 might have some. It's worth a check. I was watching YouTube today, just scooting around, engaging with various people, and it's surprising there's quite a number of response videos with regards to the whole NRF thing coming up. People who aren't even directly related to the situation, just popping their heads up and having a bit of a "what the hell was that all about" type comment. I'm just rebuilding this. Hey Ed Boss, do you label the board? Yeah, usually I put a mark on it, what the board is, what was wrong with it, where it might have come from, things like that. Hey Dan. So I'm a little bit disinclined to take this one for the fact that, pardon me, it already has been replaced. So there's a reasonable risk that it is still, it could be a bad one. Hey, Wong Wei. Oh man. Compiling takes forever, even on this machine. This is a i5 12600 or something like that, and it still takes a long time. I've noticed that things like the M1, M2 Pro chips are very fast at compiling, but oh right, you mean the customer board? Do I mark it? Yeah, it's probably a good idea actually. While I'm thinking about it, I mean, there's not much chance of mixing this one up, but better to be safe rather than crying about it. 2435. Berkelium's sort of like a primary main PMIC. So in Romania we have a saying, a crazy guy throws a rock in a pond and all the elders and wise villagers struggle to take it out. That's not sure I understand that one. I might get there eventually when I'm an elder. Okay, schematics. So this is the chip that we're looking for. And okay, it does not have the number that I'm normally associating with these. Normally they've got like a 320667389 type number, yeah, something like that. Instead we've got this D business here. Okay, so that's copied. Search, find. Hey Draco. Wait, I already said hello to you. Keep saying hello to you. Okay, so we've got 239281. Interesting. 281 has it. Okay. I think I might have a couple of those. Might. Probably don't. It is interesting to note that since the finishing of a lot of the MagSafe 2 type machines, I really have not found myself needing the number of donor boards as we did in the past. The 920, I was kind of hoping a 928 might have it. Yeah, otherwise it's 850, 850, 850, 850. Hey, Mr. Stamps, welcome. Wait, I think I did say hello to you before, didn't I? I think it's another 928. Yes, 928s do have it. I knew it. Well, I should say I wasn't surprised that a 928 would have it, because the 928 is the 1707. So the 1707 and the 1706, yeah, they're basically the same machine, so to speak. 688, I think you're... Yeah, they're essentially a similar machine. It's just one's a 13-inch and the other's a 15-inch. We are done. So I'm kind of curious where on the 928 it is. Oh, that's right. Of course. Of course. I should... You gotta love it when your brain does not work in your favor at times. The 1707, the classic problem with them is that this whole section always gets ruined by liquid damage. Which is not a good thing. It's not going to bode well for me here. Yeah, missing. Wrong board. This will be missing too. Yep, missing. Oh, this is subtle. Oh, Berkelium, where art thou, Berkelium? I guess I'm just gonna have to try that other one. I don't think I've got any other appropriate donors. Most frustrating. Alright. I guess let's have at it. Wait, you're 850. What did I do with the good board? Alright, there it is there. And by good board, I mean the only board with a chip on it. I'll just see if I have any in my archive of chips. Let's see, PMIC, blah blah blah. I don't have anything listed up on the wall as Berkelium. Might be under PMIC, but I doubt it. That would be more for more recent boards. Alright, calm down. So that's Calpy or whatever you want to call it. Let's see, FDMFs. This is where it's nice if you're one of the sort of people who's sufficiently pedantic that you would actually list all of your current stock. Like if you get a new chip in, you put it into your database of chips that you have, and when you use it, you take it out of the, deplete the number. As opposed to slap and go type person like me, who's just like, well, I've got a chip, yep, good. If I need it, I'll hope that I've got it, or I hope that I'll remember that I've got it, and we'll go from there. I've got a lot of these VREG chips for 1398s. No, that's not it. Nope. To be fair, I do have a couple of working 1706s that I can draw this from. And I am contemplating retiring them anyway. But like I said, it always feels like such a violation to take a perfectly good working board and rip parts from it. Hey, Python. Hey. Ah, good, Neo's here now. We can actually get on with it. Well, at least the chip doesn't look too damaged. Mountains hide. For me, the weather is a big factor in it. And I tend to stay late, so I wake up late. You know, I don't have to get up as early as most people. So for me, 9, 10 o'clock, I get up, sort Micro out with his insulin shot. This is a lot more like a iPhone 6 Plus Mason chip. The balls are almost perfectly good there, but we are going to clear them and do them again. Come on. Sorry, I'm just looking for a pair of tweezers because once I get started here, I need to be able to grab the chip. Oh, what the... I left the tweezers I want in the car. I used them because with that iPhone battery power brick thing, I was also concerned that my mother's phone might have junk in the charge port, so I took the tweezers as a, if we need to, we can clear it out. Turns out it wasn't the case. It was just a bad... Can't say I was happy. Normally I'm happy to leave little dimples on these, but this might go okay. We'll see. Let's see, what are we doing talking about my middle name? Yeah, I think I'll probably run the wick over this one. Which means now I've got to put more flux down. Hey horse. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hold that. Wait, I can't do this with two hands. Conspiracy. Why are your streams unlisted? The reason they're unlisted, but they are in the playlist. So if you go onto my main channel, you'll see there's a playlist there called whatever is it, archived live streams. And if you go in there, you'll get all the streams. Now, the reason being is because YouTube has this habit where it will serve up basically anything and everything that you got without discriminating between live streams versus edited. Now, I would much prefer that the edited videos be presented to people rather than the live streams. And unfortunately, you can't tell YouTube only serve up this stuff to people. So the trick you use is you unlist the live streams, but you put them in the playlist so people can actually watch them. I do apologise, this is rather messy compared to what I would like to be dealing with, but trying to work out whether that's junk or what down there. It kind of looks messy, but I can't tell if it's just the actual circuitry or something else. Anyway, fortunately the bumps are cleared up well enough that I can put a stencil over this and reball it. I'm just going to get one of my iPhone stencils. Hopefully it'll be big enough to cover the area. Wrong pitch. Wrong pitch. Ooh. Okay. You should have another similar one to that. Here we go. I think this is it. Yep. Very nice. Now the next problem we've got in our life is that the solder paste situation. I can't really continue to use that crappy stuff. Well, it wasn't crappy, but it was very dried out stuff that I was using the other day. But I might have a blob here that might be okay. Feels more like plasticine, to be honest. Well, it's way too much out of control there. I just need to thin it up a little bit and it'll be okay. It will be fine. Yep, that'll work. 270, 15. So as you can see, you don't need to have the perfect stencil. As long as your pitch is, you got the right pitch, then you can get away with it. So a little bit of and come back in with that heat. That number is what I was referring to with that whole 38 business. So yeah, it's that 38S00193. That's the number I was looking for before. And usually you find that listed in the schematic, in the BOM section, where it describes, okay, you've got this U5000 part or whatever, U4200 part, and these are the chip options you can use for it. This one's the Atom. I do have the Quick as well, but this one is the Atom. Alright, so here we go for replacing this one, and pin 1 is down here. Now obviously we can just check in the board view and schematic if we ever want to know where pin 1 is, but we're just going to give ourselves a little pink mark. I'm just going to, even though it is shielded up, I'm still going to drop the block on there just to try and minimize the amount of heat that gets picked up. Electro rep. Let's see, 460/60. It's going to be a little slower to come up compared to the other one because the other one was already reballed. But that's still pretty quick. It's still pretty quick to come up. Actually, I'm interested to see the underside of this one. No visible damage. What's on the back of this? I don't think there's anything critical on the back of this area, but there is an NAND chip under the metal block that I just put on. Oh, I do love it with hot air wicking like that. Nice and easy. Yeah, if we look at the schematic and we just flip it over, yeah, there's just a couple of caps there. They're obviously just supportive caps for the PMIC. So thankfully nothing dramatic. Crusty chip on the left, no, that's just a bit of surface damage. I'm not really worried about that. Now the big problem here is just trying to get this thing to sit down without floating away. So I have my fingers way too close to that. Okay, we've got a little lift going on up the top left there. Don't like that. That is just sort of, if when this peels off, there'll be a nice blue silicon sort of chip under there. Hey, Paul Norman. Well, we're going to find out soon. That's why I wasn't really keen on using a chip that's already been used, because they do tend to get a little bit aggro after a few cycles. Well, everything looks reasonably okay in terms of flatness. What will I? The pink cat in the chat. I saw you, Arilla. I thought I said hello to you. That's crazy, you know. I say hello to other people multiple times, and then I think I've said hello to some people, and it turns out I have not said hello to them. So you'll have to excuse me if my brain does not always keep track appropriately. Yes, you're right about the light sensitivity there. Although, interestingly, with some yeah, that's a real ugly mess. Nice to see pin 1 is in fact there. That was my only concern. Alright, so for now it's ugly. Let's see if we can get it to boot with the folder and see whether Neo was on the right point. Time over here is just past 9 o'clock now, 4 past 9. I seem to be sweating up in my gloves a little bit today, and that's unfortunate. So I'm just going to take them off and redo them. And it's more than just for my comfort. The problem is, if you start sweating up in your gloves, what will happen is that your sweat, which has a fair bit of salt and nutrients in it, I mean minerals, it will wick out from under the glove at the back, and then you'll accidentally apply it over the board. Then you've got a problem, because you've got conductive fluid on the board and you're not even aware of the fact that you've just placed conductive fluid on the board. Well, the air conditioner's on high, and it's just some days I just seem to run a little hotter in the gloves. Probably doesn't help that I spent the afternoon mowing the yard, so I'm probably still cooling down from that. I mean, I just had a shower before I started the stream because I didn't want you to put up the smell. Okay, new set of gloves. These are powder free. I prefer them to be powder free, because if you put the powder in them and you start sweating up, you get that. It just sort of gets. Some people don't mind it. Some people prefer it. I do not care for it. Get some goats. Well, yeah, I think we've already got a enough of an animal load in this property. Don't think we could handle any more. Unfortunately, it works out very well with our mowing setup. We've got 2 electric mowers. They're classic sort of 18-inch, I think, Victor electric ones. They have a 144 watt hour battery pack in them. And I have multiples of those battery packs, and I have multiple chargers. Then I charge them up during the day with the sun, just connected into the mains. And then in the evening, or just as it's starting to head towards evening, go out there and mow the grass. And usually it takes me about 3 days total to do the whole yard. Of course, in the yard, what I'm talking about is also a fairly large area outside of the fence that I've got to maintain. Hence my dispute-ish event the other day, where I was waffling on like I was a cranky old man because someone kept driving over my mowed verge, even though technically it's probably alright. But it's like, come on, it's like I'm mowing it to keep it pretty and you guys are running over it because you can't be bothered going over the your designated drive track. Okay, now we need a bit of a security screen here. Need a better security screen piece of paper. Oh, this will do. So powder gloves are banned in Germany potentially because you can inhale the powder and then become allergic to rubber. Yeah, I can believe that. Okay. I'm not yet used to the fact that I've now got these new USB-C cables. I'm looking for the white one. That's not around, obviously. Doesn't look promising yet. Fairly sure there was a reasonable amount of charge in this thing yesterday. I have a feeling it's going to come up the folder again. We are on. It's not booting. Yep. Same business. Damn. No, the council will not allow a picket fence around the verge. We're not allowed to actually... Technically, you're not supposed to obstruct the verge in any way. Hey, Nassim, accuse. Damn, that's annoying. Try another. This is the SSD is built in. Let's see. Okay, so we're sort of back to the Berkelium situation. Look for a short on PP3V3S4. Okay, we'll do. More than happy to listen to someone who has clearly been involved in this a couple of times. Particularly when it's on a live stream, because you're very difficult to be able to deep dive into thought and looking at the schematics and things like that and piece together where you're trying to go with the diagnosis. So if someone does know their work on it, then it's quite handy. Okay, so what are we after? 3v3S4. SOC, there we go. Oh wait, we need one that's on top side. Okay, fortunately we've got a bunch of different parts we can use on the top side, so I don't have Where is that top side? That's top side. Oh yeah, I see them now. Mm-hmm. What's the matter, Neo? Why pain? Check their end around there. Okay, will do. Okay, battery is disconnected. Confirmed. 925. That's looking good. Let's see. That pretty much covers most of the parts there. So definitely no short on that one. That was just reverse polarity. So nothing, unfortunately. Okay. Inject voltage. Not gonna happen. I would sooner, if it gets to that point, I'm gonna put it onto the lifeboat and just take the data off. Yeah, I'm not injecting on this one. Let's see what I'm after. Oh yeah, board preferences. This is why it's better to have simple numbers like 820 239. Search. Select. I haven't had a chance to test the 240 watt mode, no. Alright, so these are all my diode mode values for around the Berkelium chip. Not Berkelium, the Piccolo, so I'm going to have that as another shot. One thing I could try is, in the past, I do remember that you could heat the Piccolo chip and it would sometimes come good. Bit of a nuisance that we have to take it out as much as we do just to get access to the board. Give up your your what? I am listening to what you're saying. Don't think that I'm not. I'm trying to follow you. I just obviously have a bit of a slower reaction because of the time lag, in case that's what you're worried about. If you're thinking that I'm just not paying attention to. No, this is a classic machine. Okay, I'm just going to test the diode mode values around the Piccolo anyway. Can't hurt. Oh, you okay?
Tiger's on the roof and he wants to come down.
Alright then, I'll go deal with that. I'll be back in a second. I've just got to get the cat off the roof. What are you doing? Yeah. Don't be like that. Yeah, biggies and stuff there for you. Ah, we're back. Joe, I've actually got the 120 watt block, but I've got the 240 watt cables. So clearly I can't test out to 240 watt, but 120 seems to be doing just fine. Alright, so turn this around. Let's switch into diode mode. I'm just going to see if anything's odd. So 2.9, that's pretty good. 2.7, again, good. This should be 3. Okay, we found our fault. I think. Yep, that's our fault. And you can't see it. So I was right. I was right. Why don't I understand? Why didn't that fire up? So this here, that should be 0.3. And we're shorted. So yeah, it was piccolo. Now the question is, I'm going to guess maybe that cap onto the left. It kind of has a little bit of a looks a little worse for wear. It could be the piccolo chip itself, but I have my doubts. I don't know how I missed that in all honesty, because I'm almost dead set certain I checked. Or maybe it was something else. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, that's beautifully shorted. Yeah, how the hell did I... Oh, great. So we've got a whole bunch of caps here, 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 here. And dear God, let us hope that is not U8600. If it's U8600, we are in big, 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 big trouble. Let's see. So I'm just going to go around and inspect them visually. See if I can see anything. If I can't see anything, we will be naughty and inject. Try not to have to resort to such barbaric methods. I'm really hoping it's not the piccolo itself. Okay, is it that middle one there? It's got a taint in the middle of it. But unfortunately for us, that is actually not even on the list. The piccolo looked alright last I checked. Yeah, nothing out. There's a bit of random bits of dust and junk under there, but that cap there needs replacing anyway. It's got corrosion at its base. Most of these up at the top here, they're all puff caps. Very unusual if they fail. Yeah, the bottom left does have a I agree with you creature. You're talking about, let's see if we both agree on the same one. It was the one this one here. This one, it does, yeah, that bottom end cap there looks wrong compared to this. So yeah, that was my first pick when I started looking around. I'll also take this one as well, as I was saying, because it's got corrosion on the base, but I'm going to go for that one. That there is a bit messed up, but it's not critical. That's just for the lid sensor. So we'll try this one, shall we? What do you reckon? What's the money bet on this? We think we've got a winner there, or we think it's going to be something else? Now, unfortunately, it's in a position where I can't really just rip it off like dentist style. I'm going to have to hot air it, I'm afraid. You know I do like to rip them off dentist style if I can, but not this one. Your money's on Titan Ridge. Wait, Titan Ridge being the Piccolo? Or is this going to be the Attack of Titans? Maybe one of the two small ones. It could be, yeah, like that middle one. I guess we'll see, shall we? We'll take them off one at a time. See how we go. Oh, Thunderbolt controller. Oh, don't you say that. Why do you have to always bring about the worst possible options? You're like, hi, I'm Miles, I'm here to make your life hell. Oh yeah. Might be. Oops. Well, let's see what it looks like now. It doesn't make it more interesting, Miles. It makes it hellish for me. I don't care about you. Alright, that was not it. Oh dear. Well, the cap needed replacing anyway. So I'm just going to put these parts into the container. After all, we do have was a potentially working Berkeleyan before, but kind of cooked it a little now. It was, well, I'm all for short streams, thanks. I've got plenty of other work to get done, so yeah, I'll take a short stream and get more jobs done. Yeah, I know, I took them both. Yep, it was one of those two. You don't normally see the puff caps take a dive like that. Question is which one? Yeah, and yeah, I'm not a fan of it. That's why I've got a solid chunk of metal over the top of it. So incredibly hard to roll these things over. What have I got? Jedi Force or something? That thing just Look at it, it's just flying away from me. That's crazy, electrostatic for you. Let's see if we can measure. We might be able to. Nothing coming up on that one. This is the one that kept flying away. Nothing on that. What's going on here? We've cleared the short without one of the caps. It could be that... Oh, there it is. Yeah, it is that one. So I think that crack is right there at the tip of the probe. It's like a little tiny... It's very hard to get that. No, you can't really tell. Need a better camera, I'm afraid. Anyway, there we go. We've got it. Yeah, the little dent in the middle of it there. I think that's the culprit. These little bastards are running away from me. Ah, worse than my cats. Okay. Like I said, it's pretty unusual. We don't normally have the puff caps doing that. So it was nice to see that for a bit of a change. I am a little disappointed that I omitted to check the diode mode values prior to moving that Berkelium. Because while it's not the most difficult chip to replace and everything, the point is though that I did replace it. It did stress the area, it does stress the area. And now I have a part of unknown quality on there. So you can understand why I'm a little bit annoyed with myself for that. Hey David Willits. Poked in his bleed, yeah. I'm fine with being a Sith. Besides, the Jedi's that are the Sith. With their whole do or do not. I mean, come on. They're talking in absolutes there. Obviously they're Sith. And little Mr. Green Man was just like an expert propagandist. Yeah, there is no try. It's like... Yeah, okay. Probably going to trigger people who are experts on the canon of Star Wars. Especially that I'm very flippant with it and couldn't give two hoots, really. But it's just one of those interesting things you notice. It's like, well, they said there's only the Sith still in absolutes, and there they are, dishing it out. Yeah, I'm still going to take that other cap off, Stephen. This one here, that's the one you're referring to, I believe. Yeah, it needs to come off. I mean, it could survive, but I feel better if it's replaced. I haven't got the metal block on because I'm pointing away and it's a pretty good distance from the... There we go. Beeper, what the heck? Spank myself. That's not my kind of play. Alrighty. Let's put some bits and pieces back on, and hopefully we have a working machine. So let's see if we switch over to schematic view. So what have we got here? Once again, where's these? Okay, oh actually these are 603, so that's actually pretty normal. 2210 603. And these will be 14s and a 3 and a 12, yeah. It's a popular combination that Apple likes to use as 3 and 12. And let's see, what was... This is the other one. That's also a 2210. Okay, 201s for the 3 and 12. Even though, like I said, they're puff caps, so they probably wouldn't really make any significant difference, but we'll stick them on just to be good people. And let's see, we want, what was it? 2210. I hope I got, yeah, here we go, 2210 603s. And don't forget, Creature, we do have those, what is it now, 008, 004s now. Yeah, I'm not bothering to fully reflow those because it's going to happen when I do everything else. Hey Joey, you preparing for your stream? Oh wait, no, it's Wednesday night. Sorry, for some reason I was thinking it's Tuesday. How'd your 100,000 plaque stream go? Now the reason why I'm putting this metal block on is not actually for the protection of the name beneath, but rather to protect the sticker. It's just one of those silly pedantic things. I do not like melting those stickers if I can avoid it. And you can see just from the heat that one's already gone and sat itself back down like a good student. Okay, 3 and 12. I didn't see what voltage they were, but they're obviously not going to be anything more than 10. So 3 picofarad, 12 picofarad. Hard one? What? Oh, look at that. I haven't even used one yet. I'm getting a little bit annoyed that I left my longer version of these tweezers in the car. To be fair, that is a much better thing to do than what I did the other night, which is left my wallet in the car. That was not at all in any way, shape or form a smart thing to do. And so I'm running around today going, Alita, where's my wallet? I'm going to guess Apple uses the 201s just simply because they bought probably 10 billion of them. Probably for the iPhones. Although these are pretty big things for iPhones. I'm making mistakes again in life. Oh well. Enjoy my mistakes. I'll see if I can use my other tweezers. These are ancient tweezers that I use for iPhones. There we go, we'll use these. I don't use them on Macs too much because they're too flexy. Like they just bounce around everywhere. But they have their use, as you just saw. That flux retreats a little bit much. There we go. Not perfect, not even close. Bit of an awkward spot. That's my excuse. I'm sticking to it, alright? Get ourselves a cloth and start going all Joey on it. Rhino tweezers. Send me a link on Discord for those. No, Joey's technique sullied up the rest of the area. Joey's a failure. And it's spreading. This is the fun part. When you start spreading the mess, it's like, oh no, here we go. So you just have to keep going. Keep going until you reach the end. I think that will suffice. David, no, I never wear the anti-static straps. That's a whole different ball game. These days, yeah, maybe if I was handling some 1970s JFETs or some 1980s 4000 series chips, but realistically, the chips these days, they've got very good internal protection, and more to the point, once they're actually built into a board, they're near indestructible. So I think maybe, sure, if you're dealing with highly sensitive research equipment or sensors that are not yet put into place, then yeah, you're going to need some sort of anti-static protection. But for consumer stuff like this, wouldn't even think of it. How do you call Paul's boss a PD controller? You know what? I just want to clean up the back side of this a little bit. Or do I need to? Should I? No, don't F with it, Paul. Like I said, don't really like to leave boards in a messy state. It's not truly messy. It's not like a Rossmann mess or anything like that. But the fact that it doesn't look factory, I guess it's worse than factory, that offends me. Milo certainly controls many aspects of my nightlife. During the day, it's good. He's content to sleep outside under the geisha girls or wherever else he can find in the house. But at night time, particularly once he's locked in, I can barely get enough time to brush my teeth and have a shower. And he's yelling down the hallways, and he knows how to resonate with the hallways. You can just be peacefully sitting down, playing some Hogwarts, and then you'll hear, "Daddy!" And so, yep, looks like my night's over. Now I have to go and tend to the baby. Just got an email from bad support. What is bad support? Now, I haven't forgotten about the fact that we took a tantalum off the back, but I'm making the conscious choice to not bother with it, because when we looked at the overall decoupling capacitance on that rail, the loss of the 33 microfarads really wasn't sufficiently significant to put it into a risky category. It was in the order of about 3% loss of decoupling capacity. Now, if it had sort of pushed to 5 or 10%, then yeah, I'd look at replacing it. But 3%, considering that the margin on those capacitors, depending on, I don't know what series they are, but it can be anything from like plus or minus 20% or plus 10, minus 20, that kind of thing. So I'm not too concerned about that. Hey, Sutterbridge. I mean, yes, the instantaneous transients may get slightly more spiked, but not enough to be a problem. Hey, Jose, do all this. Oh yeah, the Northridge fix thing. My goodness. I said, I mean, he achieved his goal. He's certainly got plenty of attention, didn't he? And it's still going. So I think any sort of responses regarding it, trying to keep away from his actual channel, deprive him of the views and comments and algorithm push. Like I said, the most terrifying thing is looking at his commenters going around claiming that he is the victim in all this, and that I think I made a comment on my Discord, and it's something that I've been working on a little bit, and that is this tendency for people to correlate abrasive, direct, or so-called honest type talk style as being truthful. But the reality is that it's no more or less truthful than any other technique of talking, but we just seem to respond to that kind of direct, abusive, harsh, abrasive type style as being, oh, you must be telling the truth, and you can't handle the truth. But in reality, it just seems to be more often than not a sort of a shield or a crutch for that person in order to be able to inhibit you from countering and saying, you know what, can you explain yourself a little more about this, because I don't think this is true. If you're more abrasive and direct like that, it tends to put people on the back foot and stalls them from being able to call you out on your statement. Yeah, Francis, that was the thing. The start of the video was perfectly fine. It was a typical, this is what business is like in repairs, and these are the things you got to watch out for, this is what you got to do. There was nothing wrong with that portion of the video. But then when it came over to the let me set up the scenario that subscriber count means success, and now let me go and denigrate all these people because they don't have high subscriber counts, because that is the only measure of success, as opposed to that is a measure of success, of which there are many, and it's a complex process determining what success is, and of course it's up to the individual too. But even if you just took it on business monetary type success, the absence of exceedingly high numbers of YouTube followers does not indicate anything more than the fact that you do not have a high number of followers. That is about the only thing it indicates. It may lend some weight into further analysis, but beyond that, no. No, we're not talking about Rossman actually. No. So yes, the original start of the video was, like I said, perfectly fine and all that, and I think that's what it was. It was just like we were all like, oh yeah, fine, whatever. Most of us in business already know a lot about that, and so it was useful for anyone getting into business that they might want to be aware of these sort of things. and then it just turned into a it just turned into a what the fuck type event. And I don't care much for the style of commenting of saying, like, if he's just telling the truth, you must have thin skin, grow a thicker skin. And it really isn't about that. It's about the fact that if you let that sort of stuff go, then it sort of becomes a bit of it creates its own sort of precedent. And it sort of, by not correcting it, it gains its own degree of authenticity, or it's sort of like, well, this must be legit. So you have to immediately correct it. And it's not about you having a thin skin. It's about you not letting that sort of crap fly. It's just simply like, that doesn't help anyone in the community. This is bad information. Get rid of it. One way, but the trouble is there seems to be, at least by their commenters and the number of supporters, a lot of people with less than half of that brain. That in itself is actually quite distressing. And I've noticed there's a particular person going around to essentially any channel that's talking about this and making a huge rant about how everybody's wrong and that he is right and that we need to get thicker skin and we need to stop complaining, stuff like that. So, oh yeah, I mean, that was funny. I didn't expect that comment to float to the top of the channel and get the most likes for that video. That was because it was a bit of a flippant remark. It was just more like, you made erroneous conclusions of statistics, one statistic. And a lot of people recognize when you say to someone, do better, be better. It's kind of like, don't be a dick. It's kind of like a polite way of saying it, a bit like saying Richard Cranium rather than another term. But I saw a few people saying, what does he think he is, a Marvel superhero or something? It's like, oh my goodness, what are these kids, 14 years old? Oh, you missed all the fun, yeah. It was good fun. And I got to say, I'm kind of keen for this to keep rolling around. And the reason being is, for me, it's been a great deal of exposure. Because now I've got people who never really knew of me before. They know who I am or know of me. And they might not visit at this point, but the seed has been planted. They know the name is in their head. And if they see it again enough times, it will twig. And so I've actually been able to make quite a number of contacts now, of which all could be quite useful because of this. So in that respect, I'm sort of saying, well, thank you, Alex. Through your somewhat petulant fumbling of the whole situation, or your behavior being somewhat petulant, you've created a wonderful exposure scenario for me. Yeah, certainly any publicity. So, although I got to say, it's it's a little bit of a type moment for me when I hear other responders on this sort of go, TCRS, Rossman, Jester Jones, everyone else's name, and then mine never gets brought up. And it's like, I made up a big portion of that whole video. I mean nothing. I'm just a ghost, it seems. I guess that's the curse of being named after a dead magician. Yeah, so it's been quite entertaining. Apart from the initial shock, it's been a good networking opportunity. Yeah, he talks about having a thick skin, but yeah, you're right. He is very avid to block things. Or at least it seems that way. So I don't know whether he actively does it or whether it's just an algorithm that does it. I can't find any sort of connecting dots at this point, though. Hey, Cartman Griffin. Jose Lou. Okay, let's see how we go this time. Hey, that's what we want. Stupid little puff capacitor. Called you the Professor Paul. Hey, Chris Bartlett. Professor Paul. I don't even know how I get to be the professor. Why me? Why am I the professor? I don't look that old. I don't have fuzzy hair. I don't shuffle around much. I mean, obviously I do a lot of work with the software and reverse engineering file formats, things like that. Making sure that the community gets a good supply of files that we can use to repair things. Get out here. I do have the lab coat. Yeah, I've got the lab coat and I've got the microwave. The microwave is just above me up there. It's going to get used one day. I got to verify my. Well, I have to test my hypothesis. Francis, I mean, maybe now that. Maybe YouTube's learning now the way I'm doing things, so hopefully you'll continue to get notifications. I do try to get about a half hour, three-quarter of an hour to half hour gap between when I announce it versus when it actually happens. I find that helps a fair bit as well. Oh, thank you, Nia, for the €5. You made a bet. What was the bet? Wait, were you betting that it was the Berkeleyan? Did we even bet on that? If I'd lost that, then I wouldn't have been able to pay you. I wouldn't have known. Tweed. Oh no, not tweed and leather. No. It is taking a long time in one particular position. I don't know whether it's, as you can see there, I don't know whether it's going through and doing a massive file check or what. So we're just going to have to wait it out. Does YouTube actually still run the RSS feed properly? Or are they like winding that back? I'll just stick to the normal lab coat if I'm going to wear a lab coat. I will try to do a programming stream at some point. I will try. Oh, I missed a question. Are the M series chips able to be repaired or only through Apple? When you say the M series chips, you're referring to the SoC, as in the CPU combined with the RAM, or are you referring just to the whole board? Hey, Tony W. Greg Foster. Oh my goodness, this is taking forever. I can only hope that it's just trying to work out what's going on in the file system. I didn't bother to look at what that rail was. That was 1v2 SSD hot. So I guess what I'm worried about with this, like if 1vss2 hot drops, what else we got? 1v8 SSD cold. 9 reg. Anyway, what I'm worried about is if that drops and it's say partway through a block write or something like that, then that could leave the NANDs in a very peculiar state, and I guess I'm worried that it may be trying to work its way through that. Hello there, Weaselbox and Dr. Teddy Triple M. It's been a while since I've seen Triple M here. Think TCRS was correct in saying jobs that have already been worked on will be rejected. It is true, yeah, they do definitely come with a higher incidence of failure. Often I find if I do get a job in that's been worked on before, it's often easier to wind back what the previous person did and start again. Now we saw that on the 1932, I think it was a 2179 the other week, where the work that they had done had enough mistakes in it that it could have been the fault. We didn't get to the bottom of that one, but we did find a bunch of faults. Like there was that 5-ball glass chip that didn't have any balls. So it was like, well, okay, that's not going to help you. If I do a coding string, can I pre-advertise for a couple of days? Oh, I don't know about that. A couple of hours if you're lucky. But yeah, this is struggling. Now I don't know what to do at this point, whether just to let it go about, do its thing. Because I don't want to shut it down again. So worst case scenario, I might have to shut it down or do a at least I can with this. Like I said, I can do the lifeboat recovery, or I can do a target disk recovery. I do have options, at least on this machine. A Tyler G. I think I'm going to put it aside. It should have enough charge to allow me to move it up to the workbench here. So at least that's the other nice thing. Now that I've got the 140 watt brick, I've got more spare USB-C bricks elsewhere in the workshop. 1.3 amps, it should be... that's got charge. Yeah, it's got charge. If it was sitting at around about 2.9 or something like that, then I'd be worried it didn't have charge. Okay. Okay, plugged in. What have I got here? Shit, something just fell off. 2338. One last comment for today. We all tech should help each other, not mad talk about others. I mean, yeah, there's always going to be some sort of degree of gossip going around. It's just human nature, and I think to pretend otherwise doesn't really help much. But for the most part, I think if people just simply stay out of each other's way. I mean, one thing to like have a bit of a discussion with your mates over something that you're pondering on about someone else. Keep it within yourself. Don't start making YouTube broadcasts about it. And yeah, for the most part, just try and be helpful. But I think the trouble, and this is true of pretty much all natural systems, it's easy to do when there's a lot of jobs around and everybody's feeling comfortable with the amount of work they're getting and success they're having. Where it starts to degenerate very quickly is when those jobs dry up and you have to start competing with each other, and you somewhat, particularly in the same sort of area, and you somewhat sort of slowly transform from openly sharing things with each other to trying to work out what the other one's doing. And yeah, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. I've just got to go do Micro's insulin shop. But yeah, it's an ethical choice. I think also just don't be too hard on yourself, or don't be hard on others. I also believe that bad work needs to be pointed out, like in terms of bad. If you get a shop that's charging people a heap of money but destroying a lot of machines, but you see, how do you actually do that? That's the hard thing. People say, "Oh, just let the market manage that," as in so customers will stop going to them. But it doesn't really seem to work out that way. It seems like bad shops like that usually are in places where they have a very large customer base to work from, and they can afford to churn through those customers without any real negative effect. So it gets difficult. Anyway, micro time. Yeah, free market is a little bit of a myth in my opinion. It's sort of free, but not quite as free as they like to make out. We do not have unlimited market. No, micro time. Better take my torch. Mimi. Where are the needles? You seen the micro around? That's a Hey Daisy. Hey micro. Gotta get your shot, buddy. Yeah. Gotta get your filthy accident shot. You right? Yeah. Well done. Good boy. Hey Mo. Hey Luna. Okay. Who got doxed? Oh, right. Okay, well, we don't have a lot of time for this one, so unless it happens quickly, this might have to roll into tomorrow. It's actually been a bit bad today. We haven't really had a chance to get a lot of machines done. I don't even know what the hell I've been doing. Probably sleeping. Okay, what about 2338? So this is the Pro M1 Mac. Certainly not as popular as the 2337. Hey, the lamb. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen you two. It comes down to interpretation too, because there's a lot of his supporters that are running around going, he was doing nothing wrong, he was just helping people. And it's like, really, you really want to see it that way? He didn't say anything wrong. It's like, yeah. There is a lot to be said in the way that you deliver help to people. So it's very important, and I think there isn't enough value placed on taking the effort into thinking about what you're trying to convey to someone and saying it in a way. It doesn't take that much extra effort to come up with a way that is going to have the best chance of being helpful to that person. Instead, it's a bit of a trend these days that you sort of strike people down. You go, hey, I'm just telling the truth, buddy. And if you can't handle it, tough luck, get out. This whole bravado kind of, it's kind of like the Andrew Tate, Peterson type effect. It's the whole, the masculine, just the tough guy kind of thing, or the snowflake effect. But like I said, there's a lot of value in taking the time and effort into trying to compose what you're conveying to someone, if you're truly trying to be helpful. And the thing is, you'll find that people who are truly trying to be helpful do put that effort in. But for the other people, they're just trying to pull one over you, talk down to you, make themselves superior to you, and using this truth that they're trying to, or this help that they're trying to give, as a way of getting it to you. And if you sort of like go, oh, if you react badly to that, then they're all like, man, I'm just trying to help you. What's your problem? So it's a tactic. It's an intentional tactic in my view, and it's commonly used, and not enough people get called out on it. Most of the time because people are just like taken aback, like, what the hell? I would consider it maybe as manner stealing in many ways. Hey Jim. Teresa. Okay. Anyway, let's see what's wrong with this one. My God, yeah. Greg, let's hope so. I could really do with that outside enclosure. Alright, we've got a pretty aggressive spike occurrence here, so let's have a look at that. If I can find the damn thing. Oh yeah. So we've got 450 milliamp high speed spiking going on, so I'm sure one of you in the chat will know what we're going to be looking for given that. Not to say we will explicitly find it, but we know roughly what we're looking for. Okay, let's take out continuity meter. Yeah, PMIC issues usually. Sometimes can be PBus. PBus is usually less aggressive. Wait for it. That's charging up. That's charging up. I had the polarity wrong. See, I've got red on ground, and so it sort of counted to the charge that was already in the circuit. So PBus is fine, which means we most likely have a cracked cap somewhere around the PMIC. Yeah, usually PBus shorts tend to be less rapid with their reset. We could have an A38 3V8 fault. It could be many things. So we're going to take the board out, visually have a look, see if we can spot anything. I do like being able to spot them visually. I know some people go, you know what, just hook that thing up to the thermal camera and have a look straight away. For me, I guess it's a bit of a fun challenge to see if I can catch it visually. I like to try and keep my eyes or brain such that I can... It's kind of like doing crossword puzzles, I suppose. Okay. We'll let you off on that one, Osis. Yeah, if you couldn't see how spiky it was, I thought it was interesting that you commented. Okay, someone's already had hot air around this. Look at that. See how it's all glossy there? So yeah, someone's already done something here. Fun, fun, fun. I'm going to take this sticker off. You know what, I'll check it visually first on the underside. How strong the glasses I use? They're getting a little stronger. They're getting to the point where I can see the barreling effect, and it offends me to no end. Okay, I'm just going to get my toothbrush and make sure I'm not collecting any hair. In which case I'll just put more hair on there. I can't work out if that's a hair. I'm pretty sure that's a hair on there. Okay, where am I looking? Under here. Wait, is that it? That's it. We found it. Ding, 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 ding. Right there in the middle. God, I love it when you actually take the time to have a look and it comes right out at you. So I'm over here, I'm the short, come see me, take me away to paradise. Now the only suckful thing here is that it's a little bit, I can't get my dental pull in there. So once again we have to take it out of heat. Which is definitely annoying because that's right under the PMIC, so yeah. Oh well. I'm not going to put it under the thermal camera. Yep, thank the MLCC gods. I do love MLCCs. You know, I know a lot of people decrying about how, oh no, you know, we're running out of ways to fix these things. I mean, yeah, they're being reduced. But at the same time, we're getting a huge increase in MLCCs, which makes our life so much easier. I will continue to repair these machines for as long as they have these caps. Now I might have a higher number of no fixes, but I'm going to have plenty of these ones as well. Now I'm applying a little bit of pressure to try and see if I can get it off the moment it even starts to go fluid. So that's what you can do if you're in this sort of tight area and you're worried about cooking something else. If you apply a bit of pressure, like dragging it off or whatever, not a lot, but just a little bit, then the very moment that it's approaching becoming liquid solder, it will sort of, shear off like that. Okay, let's see what that cap is, how important it is. Well, I mean, it's important, but the question is how important, and whether we should replace it or leave it be. Okay, schematics. So this will be a 2020 board. Francis, yes, I agree that the tantalums have their own special place in life. Wait, yeah, I've got the right. What? This isn't a 2020. What is this? Yeah, this is not a 2020 board. What have I got here? This is a 2773. Okay. We, therefore, have become extremely fortunate here because I do not believe I have a board view for the 2773. I think it's the M2 version of the machine. Yeah. And I'm almost dead set sure I do not have that one. I thought the SoC looked a little bit weird. Oh, I do have 2773. My bad. Hooray for me. And I mean that seriously, because I'm the one that got this one. I just forget. Okay, so this is it here. 10 microfarad, 6.3, classic. And if we look at this, well, if you look at that, well, I think we can safely say that it's not going to be a problem losing that one cap. Wouldn't you say? I mean, look at the decoupling on that rail. I think we're fairly safe. So, if you do have the 2773 board and you do not have the outline one, then let me know, but yeah, perfectly good board there. I am leaving that one alone. I am not going to put a new one in there. There really isn't any need. We've already given the PMIC a bit of heat. I don't think we want to do it again. And also, this has had wash all over it. It's had heat. What the hell? Someone has been really aggressive there, and they've slipped with their screw. And there's junk in the display connector. Wow. Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's fix all this stuff up. That would have created some very interesting on-screen effects. Yeah, you can see someone's like washed over it with alcohol and all sorts of stuff trying to find the problem. Looks like they replaced the ISL as well. They really went all over this trying to find it. And if they'd simply taken a few minutes to look, they would have found it. Okay, you know what? I'm actually being a little bit harsh. For all I know, this could be a new fault. Um, it could be that this was repaired, and then it was running fine for a while, and then a new fault occurred, which is the one we just found. Somehow, yeah. Anyway. The one we don't have is actually the M2 2016 variant. So I think that's 2779 or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, I do not have that one. XZZ does not have that one. Because if it's in XZZ, then I can get it, and yeah, it's not a problem anymore. Because we put all that work into decoding that format. Nice thing is I don't even have to put any screws back into this because it didn't come with any. What are those secret markers? They're secret. They're just paint pen markers. They're very handy. Like the pink one in particular I very much love because it's pink. It stands out very well amongst all the other colours on the board. And I use them to tell me where I think a fault is, and then afterwards to tell me where I did do something. You know, these aren't Sharpies, these ones. These are Posca. Mitsubishi Pencil Co. But yeah, it's a what do you call it? Yeah, it's a paint. Where did I put that? Oh wait, they did have screws. God damn it. They did have screws, but they're making my life hard. They put them in a zip bag, so I have to actually go through and sort them. That's going to cost them an extra $10. I don't know if it's 2780. No, I'm not sure. All I know is that it's a variant like the A20 2016, but it's the M2 as far as I know. Either that or it's I don't know. I had a person send me one for repair, and it was at that point that I realized that they were using CD3217 B13 variants rather than the B12s that everybody else has been using. And you can't put a B12 in place of the B13. So that was a bit of a disaster. There's another problem here. The flex has been damaged. You can probably see that little punch through. Now I think it is on one of the primary rails, so it might be okay. Hey Ryan Labs. Okay, let's see if we get a rapid cycling. No, we got a bong, and we have got an Apple logo. Wee! Win-win. 2 for no. That's good. I'm happier today. And yeah, that's booted into things straight away. We've got to win. Now, see what the other one's doing. The other one is still stuck in the same place, so I'm going to have to see what we can do about that. But I think that pretty much finishes it up for tonight. Now obviously I would like to put the screws and all this back in, but we're approaching 10:30. I'm normally supposed to try and finish up by 10. We've pushed it another half hour to see if we can get this one to work. We were gifted with it being a simple, straightforward cap removal. We were lucky we were able to diagnose that just simply by the fact that at the start it had the high speed switchy. Why is that showing up there? What is wrong with you, OBS? Honestly. Trying to think. That's the multimeter. It's got mangled up there. Weird. Alright. Okay, yes, wins are better than subscribers. Dollars are better than subscribers. Real dollars as opposed to over leveraging yourself in debt. It's easier when you're younger to get a lot of debt, look like you're rich, you got a fancy car, fancy house, fancy this, fancy that, but really you're putting yourself in a nice risky position that will need to be paid at some point. So having a more humble house, probably not a trashy car. My car's very trashy, very trashy. The point is that real money is quite important. Having virtual money in the sense of, lots of, you can say, lots of debt but lots of potential income, things like that. That's fine. Everything that is actually really cool because you can make a lot of money that way if things go right for you. But if things go wrong and you start getting your creditors wanting to call in those debts, then you've got big trouble on your hands. But everybody likes to do things their way. I decided that I would much rather live in a bit of a rundown place and have a rundown car and things like that, but not actually have any debt other than the home loan itself. And the home loan's quite small now. It's well under 100,000 Australian now, so I'm very happy about that. I'm paying it off pretty quick, so I do not have any concerns. Because see, as a sole trader, if something happens to me, then you basically can only depend on yourself. So you want to make sure you don't get sick. You want to make sure you don't run out of jobs. There's a lot of risk dealing. There's a lot of risk with doing things that way in your life, but you can choose to minimize it by not overextending on your debt and things like that. Living humble. That's simply what it is. Okay, well, not to be not humble, but hey, 2 wins tonight. I'm really happy with that. And thank you very much for that. And thank you for the €5 before, by the way, with Neo. Much appreciate that. I might have to send that back to you with another bet later. You all take care. Thank you again. I'll see you on the next one. Might be tomorrow. Who knows? Until then, have a good one. I'll catch you later.